Alright guys, well, welcome to this quick video that is going to show you how to create that contact sheet that we looked at doing in lesson. So really all we need to do is first of all open up Photoshop, and you don't need to do anything other than actually have the application open. Then what you can do is if you click on, I'm just going to turn this on so you can see, click on File up here and then come down to Automate, and from Automate if you click on Contact Sheet 2, that's going to open up this dialog box, and I'm just quickly going to run through the different settings. So in this first area up here, you're going to be looking at where you're going to get your images from, and that's why I asked you to place everything into folders, because it's going to make life so much easier for you. So you should have placed all your images into the different folders, and the folders were determined by what category you were going to be looking at. Sorry, not what category, what different composition types you were looking at. So you should have a folder for rule of thirds, you should have a folder for leading lines, you should have a folder for any of the other different composition types you've chosen to look at. Then what you want to do is choose the folder that you want to use. Now I can follow the path that I would like to use by clicking on choose. I can go to OneDrive, and I'm just going to follow that through to wherever I have my photos stored. Now I'm just going to use Jacobs as an example here. Click on open, and you can see there's the file path there. So that's good. You can keep images from subfolders, but you shouldn't have any other folders within your main folder here. So for example, this Jacob folder only has images, so I could deselect that. Units, if you're on pixels you can switch to centimeters, or if you're on inches you can switch to pixels or centimeters. It doesn't really matter. I'm using centimeters because I know that this is around about the size of an A4 page in centimeters. Resolution can stay the same. Color profile, you could change that if you wanted to, but I would probably just leave it as this RGB one here. And you can leave all of this the same as well. Flatten all layers selected, and if it's not selected you can click on that to select it. And then as far as we go with our thumbnail, so these are where we're actually placing how many images we're going to have on each page. So I'm just working with across first, which basically means they're going to work, the images are going to be placed from left to right across the page, okay? And then they're going to go down to the next row and place the images there, the next row, images, and so on and so forth. Now I want a bit of space around my images so I can write some annotations and things like that. So I'm keeping the columns at 2, which means I'm going to have 2 columns of images, and I'm going to have 3 rows across the page. So 1, 2, 3, okay? Which means I have a total of 6 images on my page. And then what I'm going to do is I've deselected this use auto spacing, and I've put in here that I want a space of 2 centimeters around each image. And what that does is it gives me a lot of room to move. It gives me plenty of room where I can write some annotations about why I may have not chosen a particular photo. And then I've kept this part here selected, use file name as caption. And what that does is it means that whatever file name the photo has, I'm going to use that as a caption, and you'll see that in a minute. So if I just quickly run through here again, and we look at one of the file names here, we can see one of the file names here is img_4717.heic. That is going to become a caption under that particular image, okay? And we'll see that in action in a minute. So once you've done all of that, and you can then choose how big you want the font, what sort of font you want, and so on and so forth. But once you've got those main things done, you've chosen where your images are coming from, and particularly down here you've chosen how they're going to be laid out and whether you're going to have some spacing around them. You can click on OK, and Photoshop will generate your contact sheet for you. Now I'm going to have 2 because there are 10 photos and I've only asked for 6 on each page. And you can see here that Photoshop is using the file names as my captions as well. So you might want to change your file names. You want to make them a little bit easier to read. You might want to call them image 1, image 2, image 3, image 4, so on and so forth. Or you might just want to leave them as they are, as they come out of the camera. That's fine. So that's the images all done. I've got 2 separate sheets here because I've chosen to have a bit more space around them. And once I'm done with that, really what I want to do now is just get these out of Photoshop into a format that I could then include in my assignment. And the way you do that is by coming up here to File, and we can click on Save As. Now I'm going to save it on my computer. Now your screen here might look a little bit different, but just make sure you choose save on your computer regardless of how your screen looks. They try to force you to save to Creative Cloud first, but just save on your computer. And the main things you want to change are, first of all, choose where you want to put it. I'm going to put mine on my desktop. I'm going to keep mine called Contact Sheet 001, and I want to make it a PNG here. And once you got that, you can click Save. You can click on OK here, and you should see, there we go, on my desktop there is my contact sheet, and I would need to do the same process for this one. File, Save As, on my computer. They've changed it automatically for me to 02. It's on the desktop, it's a PNG, save, okay, and the second one is appearing up there. And I can now print those off or edit them digitally and then put them into however I'm going to present my my assignment. So I think most of you are going to use PowerPoint, so you can pop them into your PowerPoint and prove how you've done your contact sheet and how you've chosen the 3 main images that you're going to be submitting. So there you have it. I hope that was useful. I hope that that's going to help you to run through making contact sheets if you forget, or if you haven't actually seen how to do one yet. So there you go. Thank you.